So today we'll begin with the Linux basics. So it's a module where we will be talking about the basics of Linux, the file system, the navigation to the files and folders, at least the basics to get started with the DevOps, right? Again, there were certain topics or tools in the course which will be spread throughout, which are spread across the course, meaning we will be learning Linux, new Linux commands throughout the course till the end, right? So, but we'll get started with some very basics which we should know. So let's begin with the operating system basics. Like every one of us know what is an operating system, right? Also, we were using something or the other operating system, right? When you buy some laptop or when you buy some server, you have to install an operating system, right? It could be anything, Windows, Mac or Linux, whatever it is. Operating system is the base, right, to perform any task. So in this class, we'll get an overview of what is an operating system, why we need Linux for DevOps, and the differences between like a virtualization, virtual machines concept, and the cloud. Right? These are the just we'll touch base on these topics today. So, like I said, we are all using some or the other operating system, and it works like an interface between the user and the computer hardware, right? Like, let's say you want to play a game, you want to draw something, you want to paint something, or you want to write something, you need to open a document, a Word document, right? So for all of that, you need an operating system which works like an interface between the hardware and the components, like actually the interface between the user and the hardware components to perform any task. Like every computer system must have at least one operating system to run the applications or to run the programs. It could be just opening a small notepad or a paint window or a Word document, whatever it is. You need an interface, which is an operating system. So it works like a bridge which connects, which takes the user inputs, connect with the hardware components and help us perform the task. And like it's not only just help us interact or perform the task, it's a core component. It's the one which will help us do multitasking. It will help us resource allocation. It will help us manage the idle resources, right? All of this intelligence is there within the operating system. When we say operating system does all of that, the core component is the kernel. Kernel is the central component of the operating system, right? It makes the communication between the hardware and the software possible, right? Kernel is the core component which performs all these tasks. And again, when we say kernel, there are different types of kernels depending on the operating system, right? If it is Windows, it's a microkernel, and if it is Linux, it's called monolithic kernel. Microkernel, it takes less space and consumes less resources. It consumes more resources. The kernel is a different part depending on the operating system. Monolithic kernel is the one which is used in Linux, which occupies more resources, means which consumes more resources like CPU, memory, but it is more efficient. Microkernel, though it consumes less resources, it's not as efficient as monolithic kernel, which is used in Linux. Right? That makes the difference actually. Kernel is the core component. When we say it works like a bridge, or it does all the, it has all the intelligence to allocate the resources, it allows multitasking. When we talk about all of this, kernel is the one which does this. Again, there are different kernels. The kernels in Linux operating systems are more efficient. That's where the efficiency of Linux comes from, right? You need to have an understanding or an idea of the this basic part. And again, like there were a lot of differences between Linux and Windows. The first most basic difference: Linux is open source and you can use it for free, whereas Windows is not an open source and it's not for free usage, right? And Linux file system is case sensitive. Windows one is not the case again, right? You will see these differences when we get on to the lab. And like we just discussed, Linux uses monolithic kernel, Windows uses microkernel, which makes the difference, right? Linux is more efficient. Linux is more efficient in operations when compared to Windows, whereas Windows is less efficient because of the same. And Linux uses forward slashes, whereas Windows uses backwards. And Linux is very secure because of this kernel. It's more secure when compared with Windows, right? That's another reason for choosing Linux for majority of the CI/CD pipelines. Linux is very much secure, less vulnerable for thefts and attacks because of the underlying operating system. These are the very basic ones. You will see like the forward slashes thing, the file system architecture, like how the file system works in Linux. You will see these differences with the hands-on. Just one thing I want to mention here, it's just another environment. Like let's say if you are using Windows, like you didn't have any separate training to use it, right? Majority of it is in the GUI. You drag and drop or you do from the UI. Linux has also got the GUI. Some of the Linux distributions has got the GUI, but majority would be CLI, and preferably CLI is the better part in the real world, right? So to get used to that, how do you navigate through the different files, folders, through the CLI commands? That's a basic learning you need to have here. That's all. Apart from this, like the major operations we need at this moment to begin with are just like in Windows, like to open a file, folder, navigate through. So that's what we need, the basics, right? So hands-on and working with the different operating system will help us. It will take a couple of days to get used to the operating system. But other than that, there won't be any complexities. It's a practice. And like I said, we'll prefer CLI. GUI also consumes some resources, right? CLI is preferred in real world. Also, if you want to manage multiple files and all at the same time, CLI is the better thing. So we will learn all those basic Linux commands first, and a little practice and using it every day get you comfortable on those environments. And again, like you might be having a question, why should we go for Linux? Can't we do DevOps in Windows? Definitely, you can do DevOps in Windows also. Like DevOps is a platform. I mean, it's not dependent on the platform. It's a platform agnostic, right? Also, it's a technology, irrespective of any technology, irrespective of the technology, you can use DevOps. Then why we are preferring Linux is you can create CI/CD pipelines on any operating systems. But the thing is, certain tools in DevOps, particularly DevOps, Ansible, Docker, Ansible, Prometheus, some tools definitely need Linux environments for to host them, right? Let's say Ansible can configure a Windows, Linux, or any servers, but the Ansible server should be on Linux. That's where it's coming from. So that's the reason we learn Linux. And like I said, again, Linux is more efficient in the real world, security wise or performance and efficiency wise. So that's the reason we'll go for Linux. Hope this is clear for you all now. Before we talk about setting up our Linux environment, any questions from anyone in this part? If you're already using Linux, like I believe you will not have any questions here. If anyone new to Linux or any other queries, appreciate your quick responses. Can we go ahead or any questions from anyone? For the new joinees today, you can use the chat window to respond, or else you can raise your hand. I can unmute. I can allow you to talk so that you can unmute from your end and speak out. Every day it is the same class link. Avinash Jadhav, a question from Avinash Jadhav. This is today's class link. Every day the same class link. Once you registered, you will get access to all the class links. Thank you, JP, for confirming. So I believe yeah, got few more confirmations. Let's move ahead. So let's proceed with the Linux. Now, how do you get your Linux? Let's say mine is a Windows system, Windows laptop. How do I have Linux there? Should I get another laptop with Windows and use it? So we don't need another laptop. What we can do is we can use something called virtualization concept. What is this virtualization? Virtualization uses software to create an abstraction layer over computer hardware that allows hardware elements of a single computer processors, memory, storage, and more to be divided into multiple virtual computers, commonly called as virtual machines. So what does it mean exactly? Let me show you with an example. See here. Here we are talking about virtual machines, which uses the concept of virtualization at the back end. So how exactly it works is, see, this is your hardware. Hardware means, let's suppose this is my laptop. Okay, this is my laptop and this is my Windows. I have got Windows operating system. Okay. So now on this Windows, I would like to launch some virtual machines. Means it would be looking like a separate machine, right? Which will have its own operating system. So I can run a Linux operating system or else another version of Windows, whatever I want. It will have its own operating system. Virtual machine is nothing but which will have its own operating system and it behaves like an independent computer. It can start, it can reboot, it just works like a normal machine. Right? So that's how you can launch a virtual machine on your main operating system. So that's what I was referring some time back. This is nothing but virtualization concept. It uses software to create an abstraction layer over computer hardware that allows hardware elements to run off a single computer, process, memory, storage, and more. Meaning, see, this is your operating system, right? But it will consume the resources from the host. Means all the memory, CPU will be utilized from the host. But how do you start this virtual machines? How do you create those virtual machines? How is this possible? Yes? Anyone? That's where comes something called hypervisor. But what is a hypervisor? If you have used virtual machines, means you might have used the hypervisor. So what is a hypervisor? Hypervisor is a software, like I said, which with which you can launch your VMs, with which you can create your VMs, allocate resources to this VMs. All of that will be possible to the hypervisor. It's a software. There were different examples of hypervisors. Some of them are like Oracle VirtualBox, right? Or a VMware, VM Workstation, Hyper-V. These are some of the examples of hypervisor. It's a software. Through that, you can create a virtual machine. You can allocate some resources. Like for this machine, I can allocate some 10 GB from my host. So all of that is possible through this hypervisor. So basically, how do you create a virtual machine? You will have your like the main operating system. On that, you will install a hypervisor. With that, I can create some Linux virtual machine. So this virtual machine will have a Linux operating system that's referred as guest operating system. This guest operating system sits above the host operating system, means the main operating system. So this is the concept of virtualization and virtual machines. So if you want Linux for learning DevOps or to learn Docker or whatever, you can install this virtual machine on your system. But here the challenge is, let's suppose I have 20 GB. Okay, let's say I need a one virtual machine which is consuming 10 GB. Right? I cannot afford another 10 GB for it. My main host needs some more resources, right? Also for learning DevOps, we need multiple machines. So you have to expand the resources, which would be costly, expensive. First thing, expensive to run multiple operating this multiple virtual machines. If you run too many virtual machines beyond the resources available, your system will be hanged out, right? Performance degrades. You can't use it. So expensive to expand the resources, time taking if you want to do the setup from the scratch. Also, you have to take care of their backup, recovery, or maintenance, right? Lot of overhead, correct? Apart from learning DevOps, this is all the overhead you have. Am I correct? Is that making sense? Can you all understand this? Be attentive and Share your inputs, thoughts, or quick confirmations will help me. Right? So these are the challenges we have. Okay, let's keep this aside. This is for our personal learning. This is the setup we are preferring. Let's suppose, like even companies, they want to run multiple system, right? They'll have the similar kind of architecture, but this is the architecture they will have, which is called bare metal architecture. Means they'll not have the operating system, but again, hardware, a huge physical servers. Above that, a hypervisor. This hypervisor is called it will not be on an operating system, right? Like examples are ESXi, where it don't need an operating system, right? So hypervisor and then the virtual machines. So this is the architecture which companies implement, which is called bare metal. And the hosted is for our personal learning or personal usage. We will go with this. But whether it is hosted architecture or bare metal architecture, the consequences are same, like the drawbacks are same, the expensive. See, if it is a company, they have to maintain a separate team, separate admin team, and they have to manage this team 24/7 to manage the servers. They should work on backup, recovery, right? They should work on managing or maintaining the servers. All of that should be taken care of, right? And also obviously costly with respect to the resources, costly with respect to the managing the teams as well. So these are all the challenges it has. So what companies are doing, instead of managing the infrastructure on their own data center, let's say this is their own data center, they want to get rid of all these overhead challenges. So they were going to something called cloud. So what is cloud? Cloud is nothing but where you can avail the services like servers, all the services can be availed over the internet. And there is no overhead. You don't need to work if companies, if data centers, if they replace the data centers with a cloud infrastructure, they don't need to manage a separate team. They don't need to take care of backup, recovery, maintenance. All of that will be taken care by cloud provider. So what is meant by cloud? The cloud provider is nothing but, let's talk about AWS, Amazon Web Services. They will have their own data centers, and companies like A, B, C, they will rent the infrastructure from this cloud provider like AWS. Right? AWS will manage its own data center and host the servers there. All other companies will utilize those cloud resources by paying them for what they use so that they can get rid of this underlying challenges. They don't need a separate team. They can create their own infrastructure. It's a self-serve, it's a meter, like you pay for only what you use, and backup, recovery, maintenance will be taken care by the cloud provider. So cloud provider will have its own data center where all the services, servers will be availed by other users. Got it clear? Let's not get into deep dive into the bare metal architecture hosted and all. We will not get into it. So the point here is we will not create any virtual machines on our operating system for all the above said challenges. Rather, we'll use this from our cloud so that you will also get exposure to cloud environments. Got it clear, everyone? So you don't need to worry about the resources of your operating system. Should you increase or expand the resources, you don't need all those challenges, right? We'll go with the cloud. On demanding computing resources delivered to us over the internet. It is self-service. You can just open the console, AWS console or GCP console, and just create your own infrastructure. It's metered. You pay only for what you use. Let's say you use for 12 hours in the day. You pay only for 12 hours. But if you have your own data center, let's say company is having its own data center, even though it uses a server for 12 hours, it has to maintain for other 12 hours as well, right? For backup, recovery, there should be a separate team who manages it around the clock. So all those challenges are not here now, right? We have overcome those challenges with the cloud. That's where cloud provider comes in. So why AWS? Like there were so many cloud providers, and many cloud providers are also emerging, right? So this is the trend from 2021. Like AWS is clearly much used and Azure is also picking in the market. But what companies are looking at? Again, this is a very, very wider question across the audience. Like, should I learn DevOps on AWS or should I learn it on Azure or GCP? Here I would like to make it very clear that DevOps is not dependent on the platform or the technology in which the application is developed in. We are not bothered about it, right? DevOps could be implemented on on-prem servers or any cloud as well. So it's not cloud dependent. Also, companies are not looking for, okay, do you know AWS? Then we need only people with AWS, or we need only people who are working on Azure. Companies are looking for people if they know, if they worked on some cloud, if they have experience on cloud, they're expecting that they can work on any cloud, right? That's the expectations. They are not expecting that you should know Azure, AWS, GCP, everything. Because if you know one cloud, it follows the same analogy, same similar analogy and the concepts, right? The names, the terminology may be different, but the analogy, the concepts would be similar. So if you should be flexible enough to switch over to any other cloud or any other technologies, because every day there were new tools coming up in the market, new clouds coming up. So that's what companies are looking for on candidates who are flexible to switch over to the technologies and gain the knowledge in a very quickly, right? That's what companies are looking for. So you can learn AWS on any platform. And like I mentioned, we are covering it as an example on AWS. Hope this is clear for you. So that is a theoretical part or just the brief intro about Linux and the cloud, a very brief intros. With this, we can get started with our lab, set up our AWS account, set up a Linux server, and get started with the hands-on. Let me know if you have any questions. So now let's begin with the Linux lab. So how do you have your Linux lab? And by the way, these presentations are available in the link you have got in your LMS. So if you go here, uh, or if you go to from here to your LMS, here is the Google Drive link. Here are the presentations available, whatever I have covered here. For every tool, the presentations will be available under the Linux part. Okay, this is the presentation. So, all right, now let's get started. Create a free AWS account. And this lab setup will be available here. Okay, there's a separate module for lab setup. Here are all the presentations which we are going to do now, like a lab setup on AWS. So we will create a free AWS account, right? Free AWS account, what does it mean? Is it free? Is it free for unlimited access, or what is it free exactly? Let's see. So AWS free account can be created by clicking this. You can navigate through this part. And what is free exactly? It is free for 12 months. And is it everything free for within this 12 months? There is some free tier quota or free tier limit you can use for. Once you create a free AWS account, it will be available for 12 months for free. And what is exactly free? See, these are all the services free with certain, like there is some free tier limit. So what is that about? First, let's talk about Amazon EC2 service. EC2 means Elastic Cloud Computing Service. It's nothing but which will give you virtual machines which runs on AWS. Right? Means they are running on AWS data center. We will use them. And what is free here? 750 hours per month is free for 12 months in the free tier account. Means every month you will get a free quota of 750 hours of EC2 instances. Means you can use EC2 instance, these virtual machines, for 750 hours every month for free for 12 months, right? So that's the quota. Like that, you have quota for every service, and this 750 hours is pretty much enough, more than enough for us to do the hands-on. Every month you'll get a 750 hours. So that's the free thing. Now, how do you create an account? Just like any other Gmail account or anything, go and give your email ID, account name, verify, and just navigate through. There will be 6 steps. Like once you verify, you'll be asked to provide further details. So that's how you can create a free account. So create a free account from your end. Everyone should have your own free account so that you can do the hands-on without any problem, right? And another thing to note here is when you are navigating through the next pages, you'll be prompted, you'll be asked for the credit card or debit card details as well. That is to check the validity, to check your validity. And once you provide your details, it will also debit 1 or 2 rupees and they'll be also credited back. So that is a mandatory step you have to do. For anyone, like we have to provide those details. So that's how you will create a free account. They will debit automatically once you provide your details, right? Credit card or debit card details. The amount will be debited automatically to verify the account. And they'll be also credited back automatically. Immediately they'll be credited back. Okay, so create a free account. That's your lab for the entire course. Of course, we will do certain things on our local machine like laptop as well. Like we did get in a local machine, the same way we have to do. And yes, Surendra, you are unmuted. I see a hand raise from you.
Prati, is there any document for this create in the AWS document?
Yes, all those documents are there in this Google Drive under lab setup on AWS. Uh,
Okay.
Here it is. With all the screenshots, it was there. But the thing is, screenshots might differ a little bit because the GUI keep on changing. But the whole crux you will get from this. See here, AWS account page, create page is a little bit different than now it is this way. But you will get an idea on what to do. All the screenshots like this, you'll have the contact information. It will ask for a PAN number or the credit card or debit card details, and then 6 steps or 5 steps, and then you can log into your account. Once you log in, this is how you will see AWS page.
I think nowadays, previously when I was created, that time it is asking for MFA multi-factor authentication. So is it required to?
It is always a good practice to have multi-factor authentication. Even for your Gmail, you have it, right? MFA. So it's quite,
Okay.
one second. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, there are several ways. They mentioned for the authentication level, one for passcode, and these steps are also covered in this document. Actually, yeah,
Mm, multi-factor authentication, it will give you an option whether to choose multi-factor authentication or not. If you choose the multi-factor authentication, it will give you steps on what to do. Like it will give you
but
an
yeah,
authenticator app which you have to install. And like whenever you are logging, you have to provide those.
okay. If in case we are means we have to select it, that one.
We have to select, it is optional till some time back, but now it's mandatory, I believe.
Yeah,
What
okay.
is the problem with MFA? No issues, right? We can set
Uh,
up MFA.
yeah, it is no
Always
issue.
that is preferred.
Okay.
And it's quite, the steps would be given when you choose it, what you have to do, what the app you have to install.
Mhm.
So, pretty like after creating the account, I think it's take 24 hours, right? They get activate or like it's will be activating that within an hours.
It will tell you, like you will see a message like it will be activated in some time. But if all the details are correct, you will get immediately also, like within 30 minutes also, you'll get the access. I have seen that as well. Sometimes you'll get immediate access as
Okay, yeah.
Priti, one more doubt.
well.
Yeah. How many actually we have the AWS account? How many days are remaining for that AWS account? How can you verify that one?
Okay, I'll show you that. Okay. Once I log in, I'll show you that. And Sahil says, long back, I just created AWS account. After that, I not use it, is still available. Please check, okay, if you're already having accounts, you can sign into your AWS with those details. Okay. Uh, like first, initially, we'll create with the email ID, right? So that should be the one. So log in with the Gmail ID with which you created this AWS account. See, MFA, that's mandatory now. Some time back, it's optional, but now it's mandatory. You have to install the app for authentication. It's a Google Authenticator app. It will give you details how to install it on your mobile, and from there you have to put the code. So once you log in, this is my account, right? Mine is not a free account actually anymore. Sorry, I think it is still in the free tier. So here are the service quotas, not service quotas. Actually, you should see billing.
Even in cost summary also we can see, right, Priti?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, you can see. Here there should be cost explorer. Under billing, you will have this, not the cost. There's free tier. Ignore my thing, okay? I use different things, so ignore my billing and all. So here you will see. Okay, free tier offers in use. What are all the things you are using which are in the free tier limit, all of that you can see. Service offerings are above usage. AWS code pipeline, 100 minutes are always available for free. I already use 52 minutes. Forecasted usage 152. That's how you will see how much I have consumed. See, this is all consumed. This is all consumed. These are the limits I have. That's, of course, that's a forecasted one. But yeah, that's how you have it.
One thing, Priti, actually I have created very long back. I want to know how many days are remaining for my criteria AWS account.
I don't think you will see remaining hours.
Remaining days. Actually, it's free
That's,
for 12 months. Na?
yeah, I don't think we see it.
So that account will
Check.
be, I think that will be suspended, Priti. If
No,
Uh,
no.
inactive, it will
no,
be inactive, I guess.
no. See, if
It will
it
not
is beyond
inactive.
12 months, it will not be inactive. You still
Inactive.
can
Yeah, it
use
is
it, but
running only.
you will be charged for it. Your account will be suspended if you don't pay the bill.
Yes. Yes.
Your account will be still available. You keep
Yeah,
using it.
my account is still active and
It
I'm
will be
doing some.
active unless you have pending bills. You can go and check here if you have any pending bills, kind of.
Yeah,
Okay, so and also free tier usage you can see. And date, I don't think you can see here. Maybe I have to explore more on checking the date. I'm not sure about it because I haven't done that before. What you can do is you can check your Gmail. There you will see the registration email, right? When the first time when you create, you will get a welcome
yeah,
message,
yeah. Yes,
kind
yes,
of.
yes.
That's how you can also see when it was created, kind of. Okay.
Okay, okay,
So, and the free tier can be seen here. You can explore these options. Okay. You can work around. You will see a lot of information here. Okay.
okay.
So, coming back, let's go to the AWS console. The basic services you can search here. I want EC2. That's the first basic service we'll get started with. Here, I would like to again remind you the AWS, Linux will be spread throughout the course. Like they're spread across the course. It's not that, okay, we are starting AWS today, we'll finish AWS within a week and then we'll move to next topic. No, Linux and AWS are spread throughout the course because today I'm learning EC2 because I need a virtual machine, right? And tomorrow instance, let's say after few days, I need a Kubernetes cluster, then I'll go to EKS service. So depending on the use cases, scenarios, we will learn the services here. Okay. See, here it is showing, do you see, when you go to this AWS console, offer usage monthly. This month I have 747 hours still remaining. So that's another way you can see. Very clearly it's showing per month usage. Yeah, it's coming from the same page I have taken you, but here also it's very clearly showing. Okay.
Preeti, one question. In the
Hmm.
free tier also, is it recommended to stop all the services when
You
we
have to.
not use because that will be charged, right? Even
Yes.
if we
You have to stop it. Okay, once
okay.
we create the instance, I'll also talk about it. You have to stop them. Otherwise, that will be counted. Even
Okay.
do you see here, storage space on EBS, it's consumed like a 22 GB remaining, right? 25% remaining. Why that is consumed? When you create an EC2 instance, they'll be consuming the backend storage as well. Even that will be charged. It should not exceed 32 GB. So you have to stop and terminate your instances for this as well. I'll come to that part, okay?
But if you stop the instances, is it chargeable or?
It will not be charging.
Okay.
If you don't want, you have to terminate it completely. I'll come to that part, Surendra. Okay, so this is Amazon EC2 service. And so this is my account. First, you have to check here. If you click this, you will see a drop down, a list of uh, regions. What are these actually? These are called AWS regions. AWS region is nothing but Amazon's data center. I'm sorry, AWS data center, right? AWS data center means like we discussed, right? Companies will have their own data centers, but now companies are not having their own data centers. Rather, they are using data centers of AWS. Means they are renting infra which is running on AWS data center or Google Cloud's data center. So that's how it is. Now these are the physical data centers of AWS, and those data centers are spread across the globe to handle disasters and recoveries. They are widespread across the globe, and you have to choose the region which is nearer to you, right? You have to choose the one which is nearer to you. Like I will be choosing this Mumbai AP South one. Let's say you are from US, you can choose something from here like Virginia, Ohio, or California, Oregon, and so on. You have to choose the one nearer to you to avoid any lag or latency, right? It's always easy to connect with the servers which are nearer to you. So choose the one nearer to you, or you may choose Singapore. It depends upon you. They were also, I mean, 15 regions are enabled for my account. You have many other regions. If you want, you have Hyderabad as well. If you want, you can enable it. Like go to regions. See, these are all disabled, right? You can, these are all, some are enabled by default. Rest of the things you can enable it. You can enable it for free. See, this is Asia Pacific. You can enable it. Some are for free, some are charged. So you can choose the one. But I would suggest just go with the ones which are available by default, and I'll be choosing Mumbai. Okay, that's the availability zone. Now create an instance here. So yeah, I have chosen my region. Now let's create an instance here. So let's launch the instance. And so it's nothing but creating an instance. Okay, I'm just giving the name as demo. And so we can choose the operating system of our virtual machine, which comes under AMI. Amazon Machine Image is where you can choose the operating system, AMI, right? Like you can choose the Amazon Linux or Mac or Ubuntu. You can choose from here. Okay. I'm choosing something like Amazon Linux 2. Okay. Amazon Linux 2 is the Linux one provided by AWS. And this Amazon Linux 2 is the distribution is Red Hat and CentOS. So it's widely used, and we can go with this one, which provides Red Hat and CentOS distribution at the backend. So I'm choosing this one. And once the operating, see, and one more thing, see, you can choose so many things here. You can search here and choose either Mac or a Windows or anything. A huge list is here. Do you see that? And all of them are not available for free tier. I'm sorry. So Amazon Linux too. Yeah. See, this is free tier eligible. If you choose something else, right? See here, this is SQL Server 2019. This is not available for free, right? So you have to choose the one which is free tier eligible, Amazon Linux 2. Don't choose 2023 and different things. Choose this Amazon Linux 2. Okay, and then comes the instance type. Instance type is about the CPU and memory you need. Okay, it'll go with the T2.micro. That is again free tier eligible. There were different, this is called family or class. There were different um, families. Like if you see, this is T2 family. T2 means general purpose usage. If you need something for memory intense applications, there are some other groups like C family, I family, M family, and so on, right? Each has their own use case and purpose. See, I family, right? You can see it is 384 gigs of memory. And these are not all free tier. You can see the pricing 1.153 USD per hour. So I family, C family, M family, so many are there, and there is a matrix. Here it is. This GUI always changes, okay? You don't need to worry about the GUI, like it's almost like you can switch over to the new GUIs. See, T families, A families, right? C family. You have also separate documentation for it. On this advice, you have a separate documentation to go through. Like there's a lot of documentation on AWS.
Uh,
Like, the-
Pretty, pretty one question.
yes.
Uh, uh, of course, like in the real time, if we want to scale out, then definitely we'll increase the instance type, right? So here in the free tier, T2 will give one vCPU and 1 GB, right?
Hmm.
So if I'm doing any task, that, for example, load got increased or like the resources got increased. So in the free tier, how we can scale out? The instant we don't have any chance, right?
In free tier, you will not have. A free tier will not allow you. I mean, you have to pay, right? If you want to scale out, obviously.
Yeah. So in the free tier, we cannot scale out. Only the
You can
recommended
scale
T2.
out, but you will be charged. T2 micro, you can scale out to 5 T2 micro instances. If it is within 750 hours, you will not be charged. But if it crosses 750 hours of usage, you will be charged.
Will be
Say
charged.
5 instances I'm using for 5 hours, 5 is 25 hours, right? So it is within the free tier limit. If it's beyond, you will be charged. Generally, like we choose the family or the type depending on what we need, like how much memory we need, how much CPU we need, or what type of application we are hosting. All of that counts in. See here, there were many pages, different types of families. There's a separate documentation where you can check on that. But that's the about the instance types. Let me again come to this part.
I think we'll have an AWS documentation.
Yeah, we have to search in AWS documentation. Here it explains what it is all about, the AMI, what is the AMI ID, you have the published date. These AMIs are like images which keep on updating. All the details are there. And this particular family, see, do you see family is T2? Uh, yeah, here is the documentation, right? When
Uh,
you click on, I'll show you. You click on info here, you will get the panel opened on the right hand side, and this is the complete documentation, right? For any AWS service, you have a great documentation because like new services keep on coming up, new options you will always see. So always you should get used to using these documents. Available instance type, specification, see general purpose. If it is compute optimized, your application needs compute optimized, C family, memory optimized. I told you, right? Like storage optimized, accelerated computing, something for advanced applications, see Zen based instances. Like lot many things are there, right? AMD processors or different things that's more relevant to infra setup. So you can look into this. Available instance types, again you have lot of documents, that's a different part again. So accordingly you can choose it. So we are going with the T2 micro, the free tier one, and then come to the next step. Key pair. Key pair is for connecting to that instance. See, we are creating a virtual machine. It would be running on AWS data center, right? When it is running on AWS data center, you have to do some task, means you have to connect it, right, from your local. From my laptop, I have to connect. How do you connect? That's we'll connect through SSH. That's again another concept in Linux, an SSH protocol, a transfer protocol. We will learn it in the next class, like in the tomorrow. I mean, on Monday we will learn that SSH concept. So first, let's create some key. Okay, let's assume it's for the first time. You can create a new key. The concept behind it we will learn tomorrow. Okay, for now, just I'm giving the same key. Okay, it says key pair exists. Let's say new demo is the key name. Leave everything default, the PEM format. What is this PEM PPK? We will learn it in the coming up classes. For now, just create a key pair. You see, it will download the PEM file. This is only for the first time, one-time task. You have to save it securely because without this, you cannot connect your instance. So save it securely. And then there were network settings, configure storage and all. Leave them default for now. Let's not edit anything else. That's all. Go and launch your instance. See, it's creating your instance. Right now, if you go to instances, these are all other instances which I have, but the one I just created is this one, right? So this is running, all others are stopped if you see. Okay, this is the running instance. Okay, fine, my virtual machine is ready. Now, okay, one more thing. Whenever you create an EC2 instance, a private IP and public IP are created. Private IP is for internal communication. Like, let's say these two instances have to connect. Private IP can be used. Private IP is fixed and stable. Whereas public IP is if you want to connect from outside. Like, let's say I want to connect from my laptop to this instance. Public IP. Public IP keep on changing. Whenever you restart your instance, you will get a new public IP. That wouldn't be a problem for us. Instance would remain the same because it will still have the static private IP, but public IP will be the one which keep on changing when you restart your machines. In real time, if you want a fixed IP, you can use elastic IPs, but that's a paid service. So for us, this should be fine. Okay, these are the two things. Now, okay, my instance is ready. How do you connect it? Let's say I want to install some package, or else I want to install some Docker, whatever. Like, how do we connect to it? Again, there are multiple ways to connect. Here are all the ways documented. Browser-based connect, connecting from Git Bash, connecting from PuTTY. I'll show you those things, but yeah, those are all documented there as well for your later reference. So select the instance. First, I'm showing you the quick connect or the browser-based connect. Click on this connect. You will see again different ways. First, go with the instance connect or browser-based connect. Click on this. See, you will be connected. Another browser will be launched. See, you got the shell of the instance. Do you see? I'm logged into the instance. This is the IP address of the instance, 172.31.252. This private IP. And you will be connected as EC2 user by default because EC2 user is the default user. So you are connected. This is the browser based or a quick connect. This may not be possible always in real time because in real time you may not have access to this AWS console at all. We will not have access to this console. We will have only the CLI access. So in that case, you may not be able to connect this way. Correct? So this is the first basic quick way to connect. If you want to just quickly do hands-on, you don't want to work on the underlying connectivity and all, you can just go ahead and learn your Linux, right? We were talking about learning Linux commands like this or creating directories and so on. All of that you can get started with. But the other way to connect is very important in any case. So just again go to connect. Go to SSH client. What is meant by SSH client? What is SSH concept? Like I told you, we will learn it in the next class. But for now, just follow the steps. Go to this tab. Here is the example. Okay. Okay. Go to this tab and follow these steps. Step 1. Open your SSH client. What is an SSH client? For now, just understand you can use your Git bash. If you are a Windows person, you have installed Git. Can I know how many of you install Git on Windows? Just raise your hands. Raise your hands, please, not thumbs up, so that I can see here itself. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 12. I can see the number if you raise the hands. 11 people have got installed Git on Windows. Oh, 14. Anyone still have to do it on Windows? Or everyone else are on Mac? Any more Windows guys who have to still install it? Okay, I think, okay, that's all. 13 people like are on Windows. You have installed Git there. You see Git bash, right? That is your SSH client. Open the SSH client. Go open your Git bash. If it is other users like Mac or Linux guys, you can open the terminal. Terminal is your SSH client. Okay, this is my terminal. I launched my terminal. Okay. So basic thing is you open your SSH client. Depending on the operating system, it could be either Git bash or a terminal. So open it. And then locate your private key file. Our private key file created for this instance is new demo.pem file, right? So locate it means go to that location. So I think I have downloaded it. It should be in the Windows. Sorry, it should be in the downloads folder. So let me go to the downloads folder. I'm on again on desktop. Let me go to downloads. So here is the PEM file. This is the one. Okay, go to that location it was saying, and then it's asking us to run this command. Again, chmod command is a Linux command. We will learn that also in the next class. Just run this, copy this command and run it, and then run this. Or else right away, you can also, given an example, you can also run this. Go to the location where you have that PEM file and run that command. SSH -i, the PEM file, easy to user at the rate, the IP address, DNS of that instance. Now enter it. Yeah, you can down your hands. Thank you. So now it's asking for confirmation. Yes. See, it failed again, right? It will fail with error, bad permissions. So that's why it's giving you this third command. Right? I just right away ran this example command. So you will get this error. Then you have to run this. What is this command? Like I told you, we will learn it separately. Just run it. It's about giving proper permissions. Okay. So now again rerun that previous command which failed. See, now you got the shell. Do you see that? I got connected to the EC2 instance from my laptop. That's a simple way to establish the connection. Are we good and clear?
So one question, Preeti. So don't we have scope to install SSM agent and connect to a session manager?
You can do that, but you have to create your own SSH key pair and you have to do it.
Okay. I think we should add that in the fleet manager also to
I will
create
cover
that.
the SSH concept, JP, so that I think your question will be answered. We'll cover SSH concept, okay, what you have to do if you have to connect that way. As of now, we are connecting this way means we are using already the SSH key available on the EC2 instance. Why will the SSH key available there and all, we will discuss there.
Okay, Preeti. Yeah.
For now, just follow these steps to connect to your instance. Okay, and get started with the hands-on. Once we learn the basic concepts, we'll go to the SSH concept. SH is very important concept we use in reality as well as in our lab a lot. We need to know that. We'll pick up that topic. So that's how you can connect. So I have shown you this instance connect, SH connect via Git bash or terminal for Mac users. In Windows, there'll be so many other SH clients. Let me, if it is Mac, right? SH client is terminal. You may have something else as well. Different SH clients would be there, but most of the times, preferably, this is what we use. Let's talk about Windows. If it is Windows, SH clients, there are many SH clients. SH client is like a terminal. I mean, a window, an interface help you to connect to a remote machine via SH. Git bash is one which you are using. You may be using Putty. You may be using Mobexter. Many others are there. Those are all different GUIs. So if you want, you can use Putty, Mobexter as well. And Git bash uses PEM file, which we got downloaded, right? Our terminal in the Mac also uses PEM, but Putty uses PPK file, means the same file in a different format. Mobex also uses PPK. PPK means private key file, private Putty key file. 1 second. Putty private key file. So you can convert this PEM file into PPK so that you can use it for Putty and Mobextom also. How do you convert it? One thing is, like I shown you, right? Whenever you are downloading it, you can download it in PPK format, but you can't get back to PEM. But you get the PEM, you can convert into PPK format. Okay, and another thing is, yeah. Yeah, another point is, so browser-based connect I have shown you. Git bash on Windows, you can do it. But if you want to do it Putty, here is the screenshot. I mean, here is a document with all the screenshots. You can use it. Also, there's a small video on how to connect from your Putty. Small video added here. You can quickly see all the steps. Screenshots available here, right? So this is the lab setup thing, which you can go through. Any questions on this part? You may try it out, then obviously you'll have the questions. For further questions, you can post them on the WhatsApp group as well. Are we good?
In the VS Code also we can connect, that I've seen just now, Priti, in the lab.
In connect, I'll come to that part. Yes, you can connect. I'll cover that. Actually, one thing is VS Code has the terminal. You launch the terminals here also, Git bash, and you can connect. But this is a different thing which is there in the document. It's about connecting to your EC2 instance, like where you can edit the files. You can use the VS Code editor purposes to edit the files, not only just connectivity. So I'll pick up this separately. Okay, so we are ready with our instance. Let's get started. This is my terminal. I'm already into my instance. Can we get started? Good to go? Guru, you can unmute. I see your hand raised. Do you want to?
Yeah, Preeti. So just wanted to check, I mean, if in the course due, right, do we need to, I mean, will we be connecting to different services where we have to pay? Because, I mean, to my instance, my free tier has been expired. So just wanted to check if I need to go with other account creation or
Definitely, you have to go with a new account. EC2
okay.
instance tire expired means if you use for 1 hour also, you will be charged.
Yes, that's the reason I'm just going to confirm.
You should not go for it, right? See, whatever we are using here, everything will be under free tire limits. Okay, you don't have to exceed that. Wherever you have to exceed, I have a different options. I'll walk you through that. But only one service mandatorily where it's a paid one is EKS. EKS Elastic Kubernetes Service is a paid service. I'm covering that because that's a realistic, like in projects, you have a lot of demand for that. So I'm covering it, but it's again optional for you. I mean, whether you do hands-on or not. Because other concepts and all, I'll show you an alternative, but certain concepts definitely we need EKS. I'm covering it, but that will be optional for you to do hands-on or not. It's up to you. But rest of the things you should go for a free one. So everyone, if your free tier expired or if you are not sure, just create a fresh account and start hands-on.
Yeah. And just wanted to confirm, you already confirmed that you would be covering Spinnaker, you're only covering Jenkins, right? So is there any alternative we can learn Spinnaker? I mean, like any videos from you or
Like I already explained you about this, Guru, Spinnaker will not be covered in the course, but we'll talk about it, okay? If any possibility, maybe I'll see. As of now, I don't have anything in my mind. Okay. There is a question from Rishi. How many VMs are required for end-to-end CI/CD? It's not a strict number. Like for CI/CD, you need 4 or 5. It depends on how you design your CI/CD. Where are your components running? Lot of many factors comes in, Rishi. There'll be no number like these many for your CI/CD. You'll understand this once we start that part. Okay. So let's get into the topic. All those questions will be answered once we get on to those topics. Another question is, would you recommend running them on type 1 hypervisor or type 2 hypervisor? Rishi, as of now, we are not at all using hypervisors. Have you all realized that? We are not using like a virtualization or virtual machines. I'm using VMs from AWS. These VMs are not running on my now running on my laptop. Firstly, everyone should have this clarity. Where is this demo EC2 instance running? Is it running on my laptop? Because I'm connecting to it means is it running? Is it on my laptop?
Oh, it's on cloud.
It's on cloud. This clarity everyone should have. It is not running on my laptop. It is running on AWS data center. That's what is a AWS cloud. We are just connecting to it. That's all. For connecting, you don't need a huge resources and all. Yeah, I'll connect and I'll disconnect when I don't want. I'll stop the instance and okay. So this is my EC2 instance. Let's get started with the very basic commands. First, I'll go with a few basic commands today. See, first, learning Linux means you should know the navigation to your files and folders. That's the first most basic. Okay. Also, you should see with what user you have logged in. I have logged into EC2 user, a regular user. What are the other users you will have? Users, permissions. We'll talk about it in the next part. When you do PWD, present working directory, it will tell you where are you. I'm under, and by the way, the slash or a root is the parent or the home directory. Yes. Okay, pen is not writing. Okay, this slash is the parent or the root directory in Linux. Means your file system starts there, right? It's like a tree. Your file system starts there. That's a parent. Like you have a C drive, my computer, C drive, D drive in Linux, right? So in Linux, this is how your parent structure starts. And above, I mean, below this, you'll have different directories like a home, bin, etc, different default directories. So if I want to go to home, you should go to this path. If you go to bin, you should go to this path. Again, under bin, you might be having subdirectories like under bin, maybe something like my directory, right? If you want to go, this is the path, this is how you would navigate through. So slash is the parent or the root directory, all the folders comes under this. So your path starts that way. So where are we now? Under root, under slash means under root, home, easy to user. This is where we were. So PWD means present working directory. It will show you where were you because it's not a GUI, right? So this is how you would know where are you. And if I want to just go one level back means I want to go to home directory. I want to come out of EC2 directory. So one level back means cd dot dot. See, it shows you now I'm on home directory. Hope that's helping you, right? And one SSH client like Mobexterm helps you visualize this directory structure very clearly. If you are completely new to Linux and if you are a Windows guy, I would suggest to go with Mobexterm SSH client. Some time back, I'm talking about this, right? I think I cleared off. Mm, ah. So this mobex term, okay, that's an SSH client available on Windows that will show you directory structure clearly, will be helpful for beginners to learn Linux. Okay, or else you can also practice this way. Okay, this is what you have. Now let's say I just want to create a directory, means mkdir, means make directory, make folder. In Windows, you right click, you go to new folder and create it. This is how you can create a directory. I'm creating a directory called demo. ls will list all the files and folders from the current location. Demo is here. And if you see that one, you are still in Egypt. Let's say I want to go to demo. cd means change directory. So I'm in demo folder. So now if I want to create any files, touch file1.txt. Okay, a file is created, right? If you want to make a copy of it, cp file1, I want to create a copy as file2, right? ls will list the files, right? So that's how you can see it is copied, right? Let's say you want to move it. Move is like cut and paste, right? Let's say I want to move this file1. That's a current location, the current file. You want to move to this path. Home, easy to use. ls, you will not see file1 because move is like cut and paste. cp is like copy and paste. So if you just go to that EC2 user path, you should see the file, right? These are very simple operations navigating through the files and folders, the very basics one should be comfortable with, isn't it? To do something, you should first know how to navigate, how to go through these things. So little practice, that's all. Yeah, a little practice daily. I would request you to spend 10 minutes every day on these Linux so that you would be comfortable working with this, right? Um, so yeah, and if you want to like maybe again copy it to the demo folder. So it should be present here as well as in the demo folder, right? So those are the simple operations as per the requirements. We may have to move the files, create the files, copy the files. That's the simple operations. And if you want to delete any file, rm file1. See, it's deleted. Let's say you want to delete a directory. You can't use this. RM is only for files. If you want to delete the directory, you can use -d or as rm -rf, the folder name. Okay, so that, right, it's gone, right? So all these commands, whichever I'm using, are there actually, this is one location where you can see all of that. You can go to this Linux basics and here are the basic commands, separate documentation on using Vim editor, all of that are there. See, learning Vim editor, basic commands. Also, other than this, you have to go to your learnings. Okay, this is your program for April. And whoever, like everyone have access for this now. If you go here, there should be, actually it's not yet uploaded, right? Once it is uploaded, the assignments page, you can see all the assignments. You can see that under assignments. Let me take you from here. You can check it under the video here or else here also. Whatever I am running the commands, everything, see, clear, PWD, everything with explanation is there. So you shouldn't struggle doing the hands-on. Okay, those are the topics and clear explanation of each commands were available. The day one, whatever I covered here, right? Is this much clear? Of course, this is for tomorrow, like installing packages and all. Few topics might be like moved, like might be going to the next, like they might be spillover for the next class, or else we may cover a few more additional, but these are the things we covered till this part. CP, these commands we are doing, right? This is a generic command. If you want to see the distribution of your Linux, let's say I don't know my Linux distribution, it will be available in this file under HC OS release. There is a file called HCOS release, which tells you your Linux distribution. It's Amazon Linux too. Like I told you, right? It's CentOS Fedora based systems, RHEL systems. So all that details you can get from here. Similarly, memory details with lsmem, lscpu, some generic commands are also provided there. You can execute them. Are we good and clear? Any questions in this part from anyone?
Priti, just want to see like how much resources usage using Linux command.
This is just showing you the available resource, like it's showing you online memory 1 GB. Sorry, yeah, this is 128 GB. This shows you the available resources. It's 128, 1 GB. And another thing is like here also you can see all the details of the instance you have created, right? The key pair it's using, the launch time, everything. The very most important thing is once you are done with your hands-on, like select this one, instance state, stop it. Stop it means you will not be charged anything for it, right? So you will be good with it. But another thing is, even though it is stopped, it will be attached to some block storage called EBS. Every instance, like whenever you are creating, that default is 8 gigs for it, right? The block storage, you will be charged for it. If you see here on the left hand side, EBS volumes, right? It is 4 instances. Each instance by default is consuming this 8 gigs and total it is 32. You should not exceed 32. So let's say tomorrow I want to create another instance, it becomes 40, right? So better you terminate, you delete another instance. Means whichever you are not using, you can delete it. Let's suppose I don't need it anymore. I don't need it for tomorrow. You can terminate it. See, it is telling you terminate means stop and delete permanently. Stop means you can start it tomorrow and continue using it. Am I clear? So get started setting up your AWS account, setting up your lab, and get started doing this basic hands-on. Okay, we will cover users, their permissions, file permissions, right? As such concepts, many interesting concepts are coming up in Linux part. Installation of the packages on Linux, all of that are coming up. Any more questions from anyone? During the hands-on, if you are stuck up at any point, post the screenshots in the WhatsApp group. We'll help you out on that. You stop your stop your instance, EBS will be still there. If it is below 32 gigs, total should be below 32 gigs, you will not be charged anything for it. If it total crosses 32, you will be charged. So you can get rid of the instances you are not using so that it will be deleted when you terminate your instance. And when you are stuck up with the errors, another suggestion is rather than the screenshots, copy and paste the error in the WhatsApp group. That will help us. Along with the screenshot, also copy and paste the error from your console, whatever you are seeing.
Pretty one question. Actually, this was done the last lab regarding Git. I just want to ask one question. Yeah, so actually, there were 3 files, file 1, 2, and 3. Already file 1 and file 2 are there. So I have created a new file, which is file 3. What happened? I just commit the changes in the file 3 also. So already file 2 and file 1 and file 2 are there, right? So what happened? just added the message in the file 3 and about to commit. So what I have done, I have used git commit -am a commit message. Okay. So file 3 is not a existing one, right? So even if I have given I have given -am, the file 3 also committed. Is that expected?
You might have added it separately, right? Have you run git add before?
Yes, I have added.
So because you added you did git add separately, it will work AM or AM, anything will work. If you haven't done git add separately, it will not allow you because it's not a new file.
Okay, I thought like only the modified file will takes this -am, but if we do git add, then that will also this will also work, right?
Point is you have to do the command separately or together. You are doing separately only here, right? You are doing git add, git commit.
Yeah. So separately only for file 3, I have done separately git add file3.txt.
So
Then let
that's
okay.
expected part, right? If you
Yeah,
haven't done git add, if you are directly doing git commit -name, then you are adding directly, it will not work. You already added separately. Now you commit -a or -m. It's not a different thing.
but the first time we are committing this file 3, right? Only I thought like only modified file only will take this -am commit.
See, you did git add, right? Git add separately. Git add and commit are separate here. So it would work. If it is modified file only, -am will work. But because you did git add, it's working. If you don't do git add, if you directly do git add -am, it will not work. That's for my modified file only. Because you did git add separately, it's working.
Okay, got it.
So that's all for today from my end. Any more questions you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll close here and we'll continue in the next class. So do the complete hands-on, okay? Complete your Git or whatever are pending and also this Linux lab. Firstly, if you are doing still on a Git classes, keep that on hold. First, get started with this Linux setup, AWS account setup, and get started from here. Don't sit on with the pile up things. First, complete the today's class, then go with the backlog ones. All right, then. Thank you all. Good day. Happy Friday. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Priti.